एग फ्रीजिंग और एम्ब्रियो फ्रीजिंग, इन दोनों में डिफरेंस क्या है?
So, egg freezing is when the lady does not have a partner and she wants to preserve her fertility for the future.
So what is the right age for egg freezing?
Late 20s, early 30s.
There's something called internet is all about designer babies and all. You can identify everything, how your baby would look like even before the baby is born. Is it still available in India?
It has a lot of ethical issues surrounding it. So, actually, it's not done. It's like cloning.
Vaping comparatively looks like a subtle or less harmful. और मैं आजू बाजू बहुत देखती हूँ this happening. But since we are talking on the lines of fertility, how much do you think that is less harmful than smoking?
So, just because it looks good doesn't mean that it is good or it is better.
And how does it differ between men and women?
So, for men, once they stop vaping or stop smoking, it will take at least 3 to 6 months, hopefully, for the count to come back to normal. And for a woman, if she has been vaping for long or smoking for very long, maybe the damage is permanent.
Welcome to the Debina Bonnerjee show. IVF is not just science, it's an emotional storm. I know this because I have been through the highs, the lows, and everything in between on my own fertility journey. And right by my side through it all was my doctor, Dr. Radhika Sheth. She's not only an empathetic and skilled fertility expert, but also happened to be my neighbor once upon a time. That's why she holds such a special place in my story. And joining us today is also Neha Motwani, founder of LUMA Fertility. After going through 6 IVF cycles herself, she realized how broken and clinical the system felt. And she decided to change it for women like us. Today, she's built a fertility care that's not just about treatment, but about empathy, clarity, and complete well-being. So, let's dive in. So, welcome to the Debina Bonnerjee show. Finally, both of you. तो डॉक्टर राधिका के बारे में सबको पता है, जो लोग मुझे जानते हैं. फिर भी कुछ लोगों को आके मुझे आज भी पूछते हैं. लाइक द अदर डे, शायद ये व्लॉग अभी मैंने डाला है मेरे यूट्यूब चैनल में, दैट आई वेंट टू अ मंदिर टूर. और मंदिर के बाहर मुझे एक महिला मिली और उन्होंने मुझे बोला कि शी केम एंड शी ओपनड अप टू मी विद इन 30 सेकेंड. And that's how I know how strong this whole journey is for everybody, and how strongly, how strongly you relate to somebody. So within 30 seconds, उन्होंने अपनी पूरी जर्नी मेरे साथ शेयर किया, the number of years that she has been going through this struggle. And she also said कि मैं मंदिरों में जा नहीं रही हूँ क्योंकि मैं बहुत नाराज़ हूँ भगवान से. मैं तब तक नहीं जाऊंगी जब तक आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू कंसीव. और मुझे एकदम से मैं ट्रांसपोर्ट हो गई उस टाइम पे जब मुझे ऐसा लगता था इट वाज अ फाइट विथ गॉड, इट वाज अ फाइट विथ साइंस. डॉक्टर के पास जाती थी तो ऐसा लगता था इट्स ऑल साइंस, और घर पे आके लगता था भगवान कहाँ हो तुम. सो आज तो बस बोलने जैसा है, बट यू हैव सीन इट ऑल, यू हैव सीन इट ऑल. यू हैव सीन मी क्राइंग, you have seen me hopeless, you have seen each and every phase of it. But आपको मैं ऐसे एक पूछना चाह रही हूँ, जस्ट एज ए क्यूरियोसिटी सेक. आप जब किसी पेशेंट से मिलती हैं तो आपको क्या लगता है, मतलब कि ये कर पाएंगी, ये नहीं कर पाएंगे? आपको मुझे देख के क्या लगा था? Starting with a few personal questions.
Yeah, so you seem pretty strong to me emotionally. Yeah, everybody has their own shares of ups and downs. It's like a roller coaster anyway. So each individual has her own capacity or his own capacity to face both successes as well as failure. But if you're asking me about you, I think you were pretty strong throughout.
You felt?
Yeah. On a relative scale, yes.
And what is that one moment in my journey जो आपको याद है? मैं पहले इसीलिए पूछ रही हूँ क्योंकि आज मेरे लिए आप वो इकलौते डॉक्टर हो, आपके लिए बहुत सारे पेशेंटों में मैं एक हूँ, बट तो इसलिए एक बार पूछना चाहती हूँ।
So I remember the first time when it was a biochemical pregnancy, and I remember how both you and Guru um, were shattered. So I remember that, and of course I remember the second time around when it turned positive. So, but that shattered part, the time when it didn't really grow, that's what I remember very clearly, distinctly, even better than when it actually materialized. But Debina, even after that, you jumped back to normalcy pretty soon. Like very often, ladies take a lot of time to come around. And you came and said, "It happens. I've taken it as part of my life. Now let's go ahead. Let's move ahead." I remember that too.
I
So,
think it was only possible with the right life partner that I have, and he held me like he put both his hands behind my back like this. If मतलब बोलते ना कि किसी के पीठ के पीछे का एक पूरा सपोर्ट उसका हस्बैंड होता है, अगर गुरमीत उस टाइम पे नहीं होता, शायद मेरी माँ बाप मतलब आजू बाजू के लोग भी मुझे उस दलदल से निकाल नहीं पाते थे। गुरमीत ने, मैं जब बहुत सारी जगह पे मैं एकदम कैजुअली बोलती हूँ कि इस आदमी ने मुझे बोला कि you don't need to do it, don't need to do it, leave it, stop it, because he could see me, मतलब एकदम कहीं अंधेरे में मैं घुस रही थी, the way he pulled me out with his hands, i i I cannot thank him enough. I tell people that it's a मतलब पार्टनर वाला जॉइंट एफर्ट। तो अगर आपके हस्बैंड आपके साथ इस तरीके से है ना, इट्स वर्थ ऑल द पेन, है कि नहीं?
absolutely.
So, Neha, you are not a doctor yourself. You were a patient. And then you conceived this whole idea of a fertility clinic. So, what was that exact moment जब आपको लगा कि हमें एक क्लिनिक, ऐसे एक क्लिनिक की ज़रूरत है?
So actually, it was not an exact moment, but it was over 3 years. Everyday complaints to my husband about how difficult it was. And, it is not just about one is the doctor, right? And of course, they are doing their best. But the periphery of the IVF journey is so tough. So every day I would complain saying that, what, I didn't get this information. I want injections, but I have to go to the clinic or I have to take them. Why is there no injections at home? These small, small aspects which carries the weight of the whole IVF project, right? And you've actually been through it. So, one is the journey, right, that you're going through medically. But second is the emotional weight of project managing that journey. So, I used to always feel like, can I have a personal assistant who's managing my IVF? And I'm just reaching there. And I think that's what sort of, created the idea of LUMA, that if we have the best clinical protocol success rates and the best medical team, can we actually create a periphery of care and convenience where the patient feels really, really comforted? They actually bring their best self, mental and physical, and everything else is taken care of. They just have to come and show up. So that's what made Luma sort of,
Oh, wonderful. It's like a all-in-one place.
Yes.
So while you were saying, like, I kind of got transported into my time where I used to think कि ये प्रोसेस उतना डिफिकल्ट नहीं है जितना आना जाना, हाँ, मतलब कहाँ जाना है, किधर कैसे करना है, कौन सा टाइम, क्या वित्यांत, my god, everything was literally pretty tedious.
Correct. So the idea is that at Luma, that we will hold your hand through that journey, and ensure that you get medical outcomes as well as sort of care and convenience.
Actually, मतलब while you were saying, मतलब IVF के बारे में, IVF की तकलीफ के बारे में काफ़ी मैं बात करती हूँ, जब द मेंटल चीज़ें जो भी चलती है, you shatter and you pick yourself up. बट आज बात करते करते आई एम गोइंग बैक टू माई डेज ऑफ रनिंग इन बिटवीन द क्लिनिक्स। दैट्स व्हेन आई सडनली रिमेंबर्ड कि एक्चुअली मुझे याद भी नहीं है मेरी कौन कौन सी डॉक्टर्स थी, बिकॉज आई कंप्लीटली ट्रस्टेड हर। सो यू नीड अ place or a person whom you can trust, and the rest of it is done, because you are already taking care of a lot of this. Taking care of this requires so much of your energy and your own well-being, that uske baad bhi agar har ek cheez, because I think she used to tell me ki कुछ एक आई थिंक सम यूटरस का कोई चेकिंग एंड छोटा सा कुछ ऑपरेशन हुआ था. सो शी वाज लाइक दिस डॉक्टर वुड बी द बेस्ट. सो शी केम फ्रॉम some other hospital and she did that operation. She was like, she's good. I'm like, you are telling? That's fine with me. So I would just go ahead. So she's the embryologist. This is that. I think I used to just say, okay, you are there, you know it. I'm good with it. So to have a clinic like that, I think is definitely a very good thing. I would definitely love to come. Wish ये पहले हुआ होता तो मेरी जर्नी और भी easy हो जाता. But one thing that I feel is थोड़ा सा uncomfortable is for the men to in this process. औरतों के लिए that whole time is all about I am going through some issues with my reproductive system, and I am going into that process knowing everything. But for men बहुत ज़्यादा contribution नहीं होता है उस हिसाब से, that they do not feel the physicality of it. But giving the semen and all, that gets very uncomfortable. So how do you look at it, and what is that thing that you have done in your clinic to make the whole thing comfortable?
Yeah, so I think you're absolutely right that when we researched and when I was going through this journey myself, and when I thought that I want to build Luma, we did a lot of research and we met women and men, and I think men felt not part of the journey. They actually felt like they wanted to do more and they did not know where to help. So I think one of the things that we try and do at Luma is involve the partner and make it not only just convenient for him on his journey, which is, of course, the semen collection procedure at our clinic is very comfortable. The room is very comfortable. There's a pass box window into the andro lab, etc. So it feels very discreet. The environment is made in a way that it is non-judgmental. And we are also always counseling the couple together and also taking support from the partner to actually give the female who's going through it her support and what she needs.
दूसरे क्लिनिक में क्या होता है, अगर हम लोग वो बता सकते हैं तो इसमें ये डिफरेंस पता चलेगा. Like for other clinic that I have seen, you collect the semen, take it out, hand it over physical personally to somebody, or matlab it is very it is uncomfortable even for a wife also to see the whole thing. You understand that it's not very comfortable for the partner, बट करना पड़ता है, ऐसे सोच के करते हैं क्योंकि हमें वी डू नॉट नो अदरवाइज.
So having quiet, a secluded area away from where there's a lot of buzz, I think that's what is very important. Otherwise, it's just not possible for a sample to be produced. So all these minute things have to be looked into, and I think we have done a good job at that. At least I hope so. So of course there will still be glitches where a person just can't produce due to other reasons. But from the clinic side, all has to be done to make sure that the husband is comfortable.
सो IVF के बारे में एक्चुअली लोगों को बहुत ज़्यादा आइडिया नहीं है. सो लेट्स जस्ट टॉक अबाउट इट इन डिटेल्स सो दैट थोड़ा सा लोगों को एकदम क्लियरली पता चले तो व्हाट इज़ IVF. IVF सुनते ही लगता है मीन प्रोड्यूसिंग द चाइल्ड, बट it begins somewhere from the collecting the egg part. So let's just divide it into all the parts and make it easier लोगों के लिए, ताकि IVF का मतलब बच्चा होना नहीं straight away. उसके बहुत सारे मतलब parts है, divisions है. So from a doctor I want to know the divisions.
So it starts with preparation for the IVF. So counseling, investigations is the first step. The couple should know what they're getting into it, why they're getting into it, and how we are going to do it. So the preparation also involves medicines and certain investigations. Then when they know that they're going to start the IVF cycle,
What are the investigations that should be done before starting their cycle, and when do you know that an IVF needs to be done, or do you also say that you can do it naturally without IVF?
So IVF has to be done when there's an indication, a proper indication. So for example, if the husband has a very low sperm count, or if the wife has a very low egg number, or they have tried multiple lower forms of treatment like IUI which have not worked, or the tubes are blocked. These are some of the common indications for IVF. I'm sorry, what was the second part of your question? The investigations. So, we do a blood test called AMH where we check the egg producing ability or the ovarian reserve. We also do some hormone tests like thyroid and prolactin levels and general health checkup to know if the lady is fit to undergo the procedure and fit to carry a pregnancy. Like sugar, so if they're abnormal, it has to be corrected. Hemogram, if she's anemic, her hemoglobin has to be made normal before she starts the journey. So these are some of the tests that are routinely done. Now, once she's evaluated, once everything is all right, from the second day of her period, we start her on injections. So these are the hormone based injections which are given for a period of say 9 to 12 days. Now, the dose of these hormones is very individual. It depends upon the hormone footprint so of the patient. So 9 to 12 days also, the lady may need to come to the clinic maybe a couple of times where a sonography would be done, maybe a blood test also would be done to check if everything is going as per desire. And uh, around the 13th day of the period, plus minus a day or two, is the next step, which is egg retrieval or ovum pickup as we call it, which is under anesthesia. Short procedure, she's discharged maybe in about 6 to 8 hours, and that's the day the husband has to give a semen sample. So for many husbands, we even do a semen freezing prior, because on this day, if there's performance anxiety or he's unable to give a sample due to any reason, we can't let the eggs go to waste. This is the day where the embryologist's contribution is very important, where the sperm is then injected into the egg. That's called ICSI or ICSI. And the embryos, that's a result of fusion. They're cultured in an incubator which simulates the human body in terms of pH, in terms of oxygen, etc. Around 2 or 3 days later, the couple is called and the lady is checked again to see if all is fine. And then a decision is made whether a fresh embryo transfer should be done, sorry, or whether it should be frozen. And if the embryos are frozen, then she's given a short break, and then the frozen embryo transfer is the next step.
So she actually, said it so easily. And actually, it is like this. And I had so many questions in between. Um Egg freezing और embryo freezing, इन दोनों में difference क्या है?
So, egg freezing is when the lady does not have a partner and she wants to preserve her fertility for the future. She doesn't want to have a child immediately, maybe because she even has some educational goals. So, these are some of the indications for egg freezing. Egg freezing is part of an IVF. So, later on, when she wants to bear a child, she can even try for a natural conception, and should it not work, she has to approach the clinic again, where these eggs are then thawed, injected with her partner's sperm, and the embryo is transferred into her uterus.
So मैं तो एक्चुअली बहुत बोलती रहती हूँ कि in fact just before the podcast started we spoke, and I think even that's something always there in my mind, that काश मुझे पता होता that I needed to freeze my eggs in time, तो शायद इतना जो hassle हो रहा था उस टाइम पे शायद इतना नहीं होता. So even you felt that, right?
Absolutely. And I think, it is such a tough process to sort of go through multiple egg retrievals if, the AMH is low. And I think that was the case with me. That I wish that, I was told by somebody in my late 20s, early 30s to actually freeze my eggs. Because I feel, and you've spoken about this, right? I think we're financially independent women. We're scaling careers. We're sort of, very sure of how we want our life to unfold. But I think this part, which is, having your own biological child, is something that should not be something that you are ending up, not achieving, right? So I recommend this to every person I meet, that if you're financially independent, you should look for biological independence as well. And you should freeze your eggs, because according to me, it's the best insurance policy that you can
Exactly.
actually
Even
have.
I say it's like an insurance. You might not need it, and that's not the bad thing to happen. It's actually good. If you don't need it, you did not ever need it. But what if you need it? So it's for that time. So I want to ask a doctor who has seen so many things, and how much do you think is the importance of egg freezing in this whole process?
So the
कितने ऐसे लोग
statement.
आते हैं जो मतलब जो शायद मेरे जैसे ऐसे बोलते हैं कि एग फ्रीजिंग काश मैं करा लेती.
So many, really many have even expressed this regret that had we known this earlier, we would have opted for it for sure. We just didn't know. So awareness is something which I think is pretty recent. Uh, Nowadays, we do recommend it, and I think it should have been recommended earlier also. Probably the reason why it wasn't so common is, as I said, lack of awareness, because the freezing methods weren't so reliable. Now, with vitrification and egg freezing methods becoming much better in terms of success, I think it's something that most ladies should consider if they're going to defer childbearing or defer marriage for any reason.
So what is the right age for egg freezing, if I may ask? Like मतलब इस एज में करा के फिर भूल जाओ वाली बात, और एक ही बार में बहुत अच्छा एग रिट्रीवल हो सकता है.
Late 20s, early 30s. So before 35 is excellent, because you're getting the best of both the quality and quantity of eggs. So very late 20s, very early 30s.
So do you think that every girl these days talks about PCOD, PCOS? तो उसके लिए egg quality, quantity में कुछ, is there a kind of difference that causes?
Over a longer period of time, PCOS, in girls with PCOS, the egg quality does reduce. So even for them, freezing eggs early on makes sense. But specific cases like endometriosis, where there is surgery done on the ovaries for pain, or ovarian cysts where surgery is done, in these cases, I think it makes better sense to freeze the eggs before it's too late.
So I would also want people to know, because coming from a doctor would make more sense, because मैंने शायद इस बारे में बहुत पहले बात भी की, बहुत बारी बात की, बट आप सही तरीके से समझा सकते हैं कि एग रिट्रीवल भी, मतलब जैसे मुझे ये मिसकंसेप्शन था, सो आई वांट दिस मिसकंसेप्शन टू गो अवे प्रॉपरली, कि जब आईवीएफ कराना ही है, मतलब I always felt that I would do an IVF maybe after 2 years or 3 years, but I was pushing it. But I did not know that doing it after 3 years, maybe I could have done, which I did. But अगर 3 साल पहले मैं egg freeze करा लेती, IVF भले बाद में करती, तो वो उसमें बहुत फर्क पड़ता. So people think IVF is one process. How can you break it down into different process, that this you can do it at this age and this you can do it? And why not say जब कराना है एक ही बार में करा लेंगे वाला चीज क्यों नहीं है ये?
So, if you wait for too long, as you grow older, your egg quality reduces. So, the ability of that egg to fuse with the sperm and form a good embryo, that reduces. So, therefore, if you have frozen your eggs when you're 32 and you want to find a partner later on, or you want to conceive when you're 39, and then you thaw those eggs when you're 39, but those were frozen when you're 32, you're taking advantage of the fact that you were 32 then. So, the eggs were 32-year-old. So your body is fit to carry a pregnancy, but it was a younger egg that was frozen, and therefore the outcomes would be equivalent to what it would have been when you were 32.
And I think I
So-
want to just add something to what Dr. Radhika is saying. I think, see, there are, like she said, there are 3 steps. One is the egg retrieval part, right? Which is, from day 2, taking the injections, ultrasound, and the egg retrieval, right? So that's sort of in that sense, stage 1, right? Step 1. Step 2 is when in the embryology lab, you're basically taking the egg, taking the sperm, and creating the embryo, right? And step 3 is when you're taking the embryo and you're trying to implant it, in the uterus, right? For it to actually then have a pregnancy forward. So a friend of mine, for example, at 32, did step 1, right? Because she had not found the right partner. At 36, she got married, but they didn't want to have a pregnancy then. They wanted to be financially so and so, in career at a certain point. So at 36, she came in, and actually went to the clinic that she was working with in the US, where she went and said that now I have a husband, I have my eggs, I want to just create the embryos. So at 36, she actually froze her embryos, right? And at 39, she decided to then implant it, right? So I think step by step, like you mentioned, can actually be done depending on what stage you're in. So, for example, we have a lot of couples coming into LUMA who do till step 2, which is that they are married, they want to freeze their embryos and implant them at a later date when they are ready, right? But they are using younger sperm, younger egg, and ensuring that they have better outcomes when and if they decide to go for IVF.
And what are the reasons for multiple egg retrieval?
If the number of eggs that we retrieve in the first attempt is not very good, fewer than 10 eggs, or the quality of eggs that were retrieved wasn't very good, the embryo formation may not be something which is very optimal, not very viable embryo. So that's when doing multiple rounds of egg retrieval could help, because getting more number could kind of nullify or compensate and get us better embryos later.
अगर हम लोग सिंपल शब्दों में बोले तो
ज़्यादा eggs, better chances of having better embryos. So एक attempt में अगर बहुत सारे eggs नहीं निकले, so you may need multiple attempts to get those 15 to 20 eggs.
So supposing a person who wants to do like just the step 1, तो IVF का जो खर्चा होता है वो स्टेप बाय स्टेप ही होता है, और इज इट लाइक इतना ही है, लाइक अगर मुझे सिर्फ स्टेप 1 करना है तो मुझे सिर्फ स्टेप 1 तक का ही खर्चा देना है.
Egg freezing prices are different from IVF prices.
हाँ.
So step 1 is only egg freezing. Step 2 is IVF, making the embryo.
So like I'm just talking about the young girls, the girls who want to have a career of their own, and the girls who are not sure whether they want to be a parent or not. So for them, I mean, if for them, thinking about investing a lot of money into things that they are not sure of, so that itself is a big question mark. So how much do you think is the cost of egg freezing in your clinic, or maybe a general clinic in India, like a good one?
So I think it would range from about 1.5 to 2 lakhs, which would be the average sort of amount for one egg retrieval. On an average.
And freezing also.
Yeah, so there is a freezing charge, which is typically yearly. Different clinics have different yearly freezing charges. A lot of clinics have packages as well that you can take a 5-year freezing. We have that at LUMA. So typically, you can actually look at it as 1.5 to 2 lakhs plus freezing about 30,000 a year.
So if a girl who has frozen her egg here in India and tomorrow she's gotten married somewhere abroad and wants to have the child there, so how is it possible to do the whole, transferring thing? Is it possible?
So sending eggs, exporting eggs as they call, it needs a lot of permission, and it's pretty difficult to get. So there is a regulatory authority in India. Generally very tedious, and if somebody comes and tells me that this is my intent, I do tell them that it may not be possible. It depends upon the law of the land at that point. So they need to be told. But however, if they come over here for a short time, we make the embryos and implant, that is something that they can definitely consider doing.
How do you tell a couple to come and try IVF? Because this is still such a taboo here in India, or maybe in many parts of the world.
I think there are various reasons, which I can sort of think about. I feel like it shows incapacity to have a baby naturally, which is considered that I was not able to do this. right? Uh, from the male side, from the female side. And I have heard a lot of people talk about it later once they've had the baby, right? I think when you're going through the process, you don't want to tell people because it just seems like, I was not able to do this and I had to take support. Whereas, there's also family taboo.
Because I have seen, people. We are in a society where people are dealing cancer also so openly, and they are talking about it, they are going through it, and that is giving them so much of, they are garnering so much of blessings from the society, that we are with you, you are a soldier. And anyway, anybody who is like, even like the deadliest of diseases, and that positivity transfers into a positive result. But why it is, but IVF, one, when somebody is going through, I feel that it is also a kind of uh, some kind of some different uh, issues, or like like medical issues that are happening inside of a woman's body or inside of a man's body. Why can't we look at it normally?
So I think it is getting normalized to a major extent, at least in urban India. Good. In a way, it's a good change. Um, just to add on, I think many people consider it as a personal failure. So, if, for example, there is kidney damage, or even if they have had alcohol and there's liver cirrhosis, it's not considered personal. But for some reason, if for no actual reason which can be found out, if there is a decline in egg number or quality, or the sperm is not very good, or the tubes are blocked, that is considered as a personal failure. A lot of it is in the mind of the couple itself. Maybe if they open up and talk, and I tell this to the couples that meet me, that maybe if you tell their parents, they will understand. I think they will. And a lot of them come back and say that, yeah, we feel a lot lighter when we have spoken about it. So I think the problem is, one thing is accepting it, that it's not a personal failure. It's not because I've done this, that's why this has happened. It just happened and I have to deal with it. If I identify the problem and not brush it under the carpet, I'll find a solution to it. So I think it's only because this personal failure, or considering it as, ye kisi ko nahi batana, is maybe because of society induced pressure also, which I think is coming down now.
Yeah, I think so well said. And I feel like most of the women who I've spoken to have said that they felt that this was personal failure. They were not able to do this and they don't want everybody to know, right? And there is also the family and the societal pressure, which in a large way is going down. You see so many women opening up about it. And I think that's the step in the right direction because, we at Luma, for example, run this thing where we ask inspirational women to talk about their journey. And so many women have opened up. They've actually spoken about the fact that they went through this, they went through this. And that helps others talk about it as well. Because, like you said, the burden of going through these fertility treatments is so hard. And when you realize that you're not alone, and so many women have been through this process, you feel at ease and actually you feel that you're not alone in this journey.
So I've spoken to women who have said that during the whole process, uh, physical intimacy kind of takes a complete backseat, and they just, I mean, the enjoyment of it totally goes. So what is that something that you can tell a couple in such a scenario?
So this is a pretty common problem. Uh, and over here, I think talking to both of them together as well as separately, counseling them, or telling the husband in particular that your wife is undergoing particular medicines, specific procedures, and maybe just try to kind of loosen up. Don't only equate egg, fertility, intercourse, these, don't try to always make it so mechanical that relations means only when there's a baby involved. So if you continue to be intimate, if you continue to be the atmosphere at home is good, loving, not do not discuss this fertility issue too much. Maybe sometimes take a break, take your wife out, change the environment, go to a stress free place. I think all these things can help. Counseling works a lot. And even the wife should be told that, don't pressurize, things will happen, just be cool.
I think that's the most important thing because, if both of them takes a lot of stress, then, physical intimacy just equals to babies. And then it becomes the most stressful thing.
Almost like a punishment.
Yeah. It looks like a punishment. सो एक चीज जो सब लोग पूछते हैं कि आईवीएफ का खर्चा कितना होता है, इज इट वेरी एक्सपेंसिव? कितना मतलब व्हाट्स द रेंज, लाइक 9-10 लाख रुपीज, व्हाट इज इट?
No, I don't think it's that high. I think typically, average IVF, is basically the cost of the procedure plus injections. It's approximately in the range of about 1.5 to 2.5 lakhs on an average. Yeah, and I think now with technology, with the ability of sort of different financial, formats, you can actually do IVF on EMI, right? Uh, yeah, you have access to doing IVF via just paying EMI every month, and I think a lot of people don't know that. So I do think that those who are not affording even have access to you know paid in installments and not pay everything upfront.
And why does IVF does not fall under health insurance?
So some policies corporate insurance plans do reimburse IVF. Many corporate insurance plans. Many things in India aren't insured. So dental treatments also. I mean, I think they're a necessity. IVF is also not because it's not a luxury treatment. It's because somebody needs it. I think soon it will get covered. This is what I believe. Maybe it may take some time.
If somebody starting their fertility journey, what's your one piece of advice?
So that's a wonderful thing to do. Preconceptional counseling is wonderful because, again, there is lack of awareness even in the most educated people about what's the best time to try the fertile window concept. So all this is what we can explain to them when they meet us. We can also do a just general checkup to know that everything is fine, and we can tell them go try for 6 to 12 months, or depending upon the case, and then come back if things don't work. So, preconceptional counseling, knowing what vitamins to take, prenatal vitamins, explaining to them the concept of fertile window is very, very recommended.
So what are some of the now that I'm talking to a doctor, so what are the prenatal vitamins that are mandatory, whether you naturally conceive or you are opting for IVF?
Folic acid is what we give everybody. So 5 milligram per day, for you can start it when you start planning, and you have to continue it even during your pregnancy. Also, most of us in India are vitamin D deficient. So taking vitamin D supplements also would help.
And what after how many months or how many years should they consider uh, doing things clinically?
So if they've never visited a doctor and they are less than 30, 32 years of age, then maybe after 1 year of trying without any contraception, they could just come for a visit and check whether everything is fine. But if the lady is on the older age group side, if she is more than 35, that 1 year we would drop to 6 months. And if she's more than 40, she should go immediately and just evaluate everything before and not waste any time. Because after 40, the egg quality drops really drastically. So she shouldn't waste too much time there.
What is the minimum AMH that can help a woman produce baby?
So there is nothing etched on stone. So we have seen girls with even 0.1, 0.2 conceive naturally. And we have seen people with AMH of 4 struggle. So generally, if the AMH is less than 1, earlier the attention given, the better. But there is no rule that if your AMH is 0.5, IVF ही lagne wala hai. You can maybe try naturally, but for a shorter period of time.
One question: why the LUMA fertility care came into existence? You felt the system was broken, but you had been working in this system for many years now. How much do you agree with it?
So I believe in one thing. Clinical is at the center. There are no two ways about that. There cannot be any compromise in clinical care. Everything else is very important, but comes as a layer. Correct. They're at the periphery. So you make a mistake in the second layer, probably it's okay, as in it's not right. I'm not saying it's right, but it's pardonable. But only giving frills and fancies or making a person comfortable and not doing what you should be doing clinically is something I think which is a gross error.
And I think when doctor says that, she's the right doctor and the best doctor at that, because I completely agree with her. The proof of the pudding is finally conception and a healthy baby, right? And nothing should sort of stop that. So I think at Luma we've tried to blend, and we've basically made clinical outcome success as number one. Number two comes care, right? And number three is convenience, right? So basically, all of these coming together is when the real magic happens.
But to add, when I first heard whatever she had to say, I was really taken aback. I mean, I was like, wow. I mean, she's actually hit the hammer on the, head of the nail. So, uh, all the loopholes or all the missing gaps, which I did perceive all these years, I think most of them have been bridged. It's a very good thing, and of course there are still gaps that need to be bridged, and that there will it's not perfect. I don't believe that any system is perfect. It will take some time, but I think we are close to getting people more comfortable.
एंड जो कुछ कुछ बहुत ही जनरल क्वेश्चंस होते हैं लोगों के, आईवीएफ करने से क्या लोग मोटे हो जाते हैं?
सो थोड़ा बहुत ब्लोटिंग होता है वो महीने में बिकॉज ऑफ द एग्स विच हैव ग्रोन इन साइज, द ओवरीज आर स्लाइटली बल्की, बट दिस इज वेट दैट इज शेड ऑफ द इमीडिएट नेक्स्ट मंथ. प्रेगनेंसी में वैसे भी थोड़ा वेट गेन होता है विच इज़ गुड वेट. दैट ऑल्सो टेक्स सम टाइम टू शेड, right? So little bit of weight gain is also because we say that once when we are doing the process, stop exercising too much. It's not that we have made them put them on complete bed rest, but the physical exertion or the physical exercise is limited.
Yeah, so let's talk about the time. How much time for egg freezing would a girl need to scrape out from their schedule to do it?
So the stimulation period, that is the hormone injection period, we say do not stop your routine. It's about 9 to 12 days. So let's say an average of 10 days. They can take the injections by themselves. We train them or we send the nurse home. So they don't have to stop their work. The day of the egg retrieval, that day she should not plan any important activity because it's under anesthesia. The very next day she can get back to work. So if you're actually asking how many days of work does she need to days does she need to miss at work, it's just one day.
What is that one thing in fertility care in India that you changed, you think?
I think we've not yet, but we are on the path. We actually are the first clinic in India, rather Asia, to have an app in fertility, which I think is very, very critical because you want to know where you're in the journey. This is like a Google Calendar for your IVF process, which your doctor has access to, you have access to. You can ask any questions, you can manage all your appointments. And I feel like this is the step in the right direction, along with the right clinical and success rate that the IVF process needs. If you have an app that supplements the journey, I feel that is very important.
So this is the gap that is fulfilled.
Yes, we already
so
have
what is
that.
you want to happen? The other gap.
I think, like Doctor said, we are really, we want Luma to be next generation fertility care. We really think that India has seen fertility care 1.0 and there has to be 2.0. And, we are not a perfect system yet. So we're working on a lot of improvements. We really want the whole Luma journey to be a wholesome journey, right? From all aspects. So I think we have some steps to take before that. but we do think that the things we've implemented, no other clinic has. And it's the step in the right direction for Indian women to actually take fertility in their own hands.
And we are also reading, AI is taking over. The first artificial intelligence, IVF happened, a baby has happened. uh, uh, बस ये सब क्या है, मतलब हम भारत में बैठ के समझ में नहीं आता है कि कितना सही है, और ये मतलब जेन्युइनली रियल लाइफ प्रैक्टिकल इम्प्लीमेंट होने में कितना टाइम है, या फिर होना भी चाहिए कि नहीं.
So, artificial intelligence, like in every other field, is a superb tool. But it's to help us, not to replace us. That's one thing. I think it's very necessary because it helps in many ways. It reduces human errors. It is more precise because it's finally machine driven. But who has trained it? Humans have trained it. So it is something which I think holds a lot of promise. It's so nascent, matlab itna jaldi hai that it's so difficult to comment about what what the future holds. But I think it has a long way to go, and things, success rates and overall outcomes are likely to improve with the introduction of artificial intelligence in various programs.
लाइक मेरे दिमाग में ऐसे ही एक सवाल आया कि जो एम्ब्रियोलॉजिस्ट होते हैं, तो उनका मतलब मेरे हिसाब से वो जो एक काम है, आई एम नोबडी टू से दो, बट ऐसा लगता है कि दिस दैट रिक्वायर्स लाइक प्रिसिशन. तो वहाँ पे आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस क्या ले सकता है वो जगह?
जगह नहीं ले सकता according to me, but it can help to a major degree. Like for example, sperm selection. कौन सा sperm best है to inject into an egg? So AI can help in that sperm selection. I think what you were speaking about is the ICSI that was done by AI. But this is all so infantile, so nascent right now, Debina, that I don't think uh, it's something that we can even think about that as a replacement to an embryologist. I think it's more like a useful companion than a replacement. I hope and I really hope that humans are never replaced, because then that mechanical part of natural will also come to IVF. And I don't think there is anything better than a human touch, and emotional involvement also. But
True that.
in terms of helping that human to function effectively, I think AI is a very good tool.
No, actually true. And now some like fun but interesting question जो सबके दिमाग में होता है. It is rapid fire. Can you get pregnant during periods?
Not impossible.
Does putting the legs up after sex help in conception?
No.
Does eating pineapple after embryo transfer help?
No. So pineapple core has got an enzyme. It's called bromelain, and that could help, but it's not something which is. It's not that you keep eating pineapple and then you're 100%. It's not. It's not. No. Answer is no.
Do babies born via IVF differ in any way from natural conception?
No, not because they were born through IVF. Some babies do have some birth defects or abnormalities. Not because they were born via IVF. Even if they were born naturally, they were likely to have the same problem. It's because of the basic biology of the parents that there could be some genetic disorder.
No, matlab, are they more intelligent, or
No.
are they?
They are just as good or just as bad as naturally born babies in terms of growth, in terms of development, in terms of intelligence, in terms of emotional quotient, in all ways.
How wonderful. Can a woman with PCOS never conceive naturally?
No, she can. She can conceive naturally.
One question that was that a lot of people kept asking me, various questions. Some were not applicable, मेरे लिए applicable नहीं था, लेकिन लोगों के दिमाग में ऐसा था कि when you produce milk, can you still conceive?
So generally not, because when you are lactating, there is usually amenorrhea, that is you don't get your period. But then there are skip cases where when you're not feeding all the time, that there could be what we call as a skip ovulation. And if you have relations with your husband, then yeah, there could be a baby.
Great. So that's the answer. Looking back, I realize I wish I had known that IVF is not a weakness, and it is courage, it is science, and it is hope. Uh, because when you are going through it, I mean, the reason for my podcast show itself, started with "You are not alone," and I even felt that I wanted other people, I wanted others' experience to understand, or just to give me that that support, that I am not alone in this journey. If it has happened with them, then why not me? You feel a lot more confident, you feel that अब भीड़ का हिस्सा होके आप भी निकल जाओगे कहीं ना कहीं इस जगह पे तो लगता है. If there's one message that you would want every woman or a couple who's struggling with fertility to take home today, what would that be?
Never give up. There are ups and downs, but don't give up.
I think that's the most beautiful thing. Thank you so much, Neha, that you got Dr. Radhika to the Debina Bonnerjee show. बहुत लोग देखना चाहती थी इनको, और मुझसे नंबर मांगते थे पर्सनल नंबर कि आप मुझे दे दो, हेल्प कर दो, और मैं उस टाइम पे उस क्लिनिक का नंबर देती थी. बट वहाँ पे बहुत सारे डॉक्टर्स थे, मतलब इट्स अ हॉस्पिटल. सो मतलब एक हॉस्पिटल के अलग प्रोटोकॉल्स होते हैं, कॉल कहीं पे जाता है, ट्रांसफ़र होता है. But I think now if you want to catch her, you can go to LUMA Fertility Clinic. नीचे सारे details दिए हुए हैं. So you still can ask me the question, who was your IVF doctor? It is Dr. Radhika again. I will not say कि अब मुझे अब मत पूछना, क्योंकि होता है ना, लोगों को मिस हो जाता है. So and I give that benefit of doubt to all of you. So you can talk to her, you can consult her, and all the best to your journey, and always remember you are not alone. And thank you so much again.
Thank
for
you so
coming
much,
here.
Debina. Thank you so much. Thank you.